Sandy, built in 1914, is a survivor from the extensive railway system of Natal.
Well, it's a local engine to us, this is. It's Fowler engine, built in Leeds. We're from the UK, we're only just down the road, about really 2 hours away from where the engines were built. So as far as experience goes, it's fantastic to be right out in the middle of South Africa, experiencing their culture and what have you, and driving their locos, like an English-built loco, out on their railways. Couldn't get it any better, really. We're from England, in the centre of England, in the Midlands. We're a Hunslet steam engine company.
After service on the Mount Edgecombe sugarcane system, the locomotive was sold to Free State Geduld Mines in Welkom, where it was named Sandy. As with many of the surviving sugar estate locos, it eventually found its way to Midmar Historical Village. From 1998, Sandy saw some use at Ratanga Junction in Cape Town. Sandstone acquired her in 2002. Right away, the crew opens her up and the locomotive chugs along at a fair pace. For the crew, the steaming of their heritage locomotive is great and everything is going just fine.
Almost the size of my model shovel. Well, we're going to get some coal in here to get some steam up. I suppose it'll take about 2 to 2.5 hours to get up steam, but we are getting some pressure on the gauge now. This particular loco is 1910 Oostem and Koppel. In short, they call it an ONK, and it's a very old engine. It's still got its original boiler on. So today I shall be firing the engine with a driver who's from England. My job is the fireman, and my job is to create steam, to keep the steam up, so the driver's got steam to be useful to keep the train going.
My engine, yes, I bought them from at the Midmar Dam auction. There's one more, the Little Besses also belongs to us, as it's a two-foot preservation trust. We preserve the narrow gauge railway history, South African area.
No, I'm not a member of any preservation society, but I'm a member of the Pietermaritzburg Society of Model Engineers. I build miniature steam locomotives and operate them.
The locomotive is unusual in the Sandstone collection in that it carries its water in a tank under the boiler, hence its description as a 0 to 4 OWT for well tank.
I just had lunch, so I'm feeling better, ready to fire.
This locomotive started out its career at West Rand Consolidated Mines in 1910. In 1936, it was sold to Vogelspruit Gold Mine. On the mine closure in 1968, it was transferred to West Driefontein before being donated to the Midmar project. When the Midmar Railway was closed in 1998, it was sold to the Two-Foot Preservation Trust. The new owners transferred the locomotive on loan to Sandstone in 2002. A crew from Welsh Highlands Railway occupies the Barclay engine.
Because we're twinned with the Sandstone, we came out here to enjoy their railway, support them, and then eventually run the cosmos with them. We don't have such a collection of locomotives. All we've got at the moment is just Class 16s. The Festiniog went over to oil in 1974 when it was cheap and reliable, and coal was becoming a bit of a problem. Nowadays we're looking to go back to coal for about half our fleet because the price of oil has knocked it out and coal is still very good. And the engines don't take too much to convert them back to their original form. The practice out here with our twin is really useful in preparation for when we get the coal grates back in the locos. So I'm here having a really good practice. Getting my hands properly dirty. We all got footplate experience, but some of us not on a coal machine.
This little Red Devil locomotive was built in 1916 by Andrew Barclay of Kilmarnock, Scotland, for the Umhloti Sugar Company of Natal. It ultimately found its way to Witbank, where it stood out of use for many years. Sandstone acquired her in 2001. Here, Barclay joins forces with Owen Kay to show off the power. The Deckerville locomotive is the cutest of all, weighing only 2 tons. It was built in France in 1899 and affectionately known as Batlala.
And the thing is with small engines, I'm sure you agree, a little bit of water, a little bit of coal, little bit,
Yeah.
not.
If you put too much,
Yeah.
it's every
Little
time
enough to-
also here.
Little
Fail
enough.
everywhere.
Little enough.
Yeah.
This little French lady spent her entire life working on a sugar estate in Angola.
I'm cleaning the soot out of the tubes so you get a better heat transfer. So I'm a novice, I'm just learning. I'm under instruction. This is only the second time I've been on a coal-fired loco. I'm a volunteer on the Welsh Highland Railway in Wales. I live in the centre of England and travel about 150 miles to go to volunteer each way. Sometimes go for a couple of days, sometimes for a day, sometimes for a week. And we have over there quite a lot of South African kit. For me, the engines are totally new. I mean, I've been on the footplate, but I haven't done much. So everything here is new for me.
When Philip bought the locomotive, he got a cold response from steam enthusiasts.
Whole country was worried about. Swiss people's buying one of our engines and they move it up to Switzerland. We told everybody, no, we buy it to keep them safe down here. It's the only way. Roy and me went on a steam tour around South Africa, and then we visited the place at Uitenhage. And the store was broken and all brass gone. The engine was really bad condition.
Yeah,
So-
he was upset because they restored it,
Yeah.
and then
Ah.
the people who involved let it
Yeah.
go into that state.
No, then we put it away in a safe place. It was very safe, extremely safe. No one knows where. And then we moved up the engine to Bloemfontein to restore them there. But now it's running again in good condition. It's fine.
One of the smallest locomotives in Sandstone, this Wren was built by Kerr Stewart for the Southern Gas Company in 1903. Kalahari or NG15 is one of the most powerful 2-foot gauge locomotives, but not the most powerful. Those are still to come. Built in 1931 by Henschel of Germany, it originally served in southwest Africa, hence its name after one of Namibia's deserts. Walsh Highland Railway has this locomotive on its rooster, but they've never steamed it. So Peter drives it, dreaming of Walsh Mountains.
I whistled for you and you pissed off, so sod it!
When the line in Namibia was re-gauged in 1961, NG15 was transferred to Port Elizabeth, where it served on the Aventure line until mid-1980s. After rusting away for more than a decade, Kalahari was rescued by Sandstone. The entire locomotive was rebuilt and the boiler retuned. In July 2003, it made a debut at Sandstone. At present, it is still the only operating NG15 in the world. Now we're talking power. Designed for South Africa's twisting and winding mountainous railways, these mammoths of narrow gauge were the biggest and the most powerful 2-foot steam engines in the world. But before this Garrett leaves the depot, it must undergo a beautifying session.
This is like graphite powder,
Graphite powder?
bit of oil and diesel mix, and then you put brown sugar in. As soon as it heats up now, you'll see the smoke comes out, so it burns it. And with the graphite, it's like with the oil and everything is protecting your plates, and it looks nice in the heat, doesn't do anything to it, you know.
Sandstone has 3 Garretts in working order. NGG 13, number 49, built by Hanomag, Germany in 1928. NGG 16, number 113, built by Bayer Peacock of Britain in 1939. and NGG 16, number 153, built by Hanslet Taylor of Johannesburg in 1968. These articulated locomotives have 262 plus 262 wheel arrangement. After being chased by kids, the locomotive races with a fire engine. Although the veld fire caused by a steam engine is always possible, the likelihood of it happening is minimal. And now we're talking narrow gauge superpower. Double headers are always a highlight of the steam world. Here NGG 13 number 49 Garrett is being plugged into Kalahari. With double headers, the lead driver is always in charge, in this case Kalahari. He controls brakes, watches the signals and communicates with the rear locomotive crew. The front locomotive usually does most of the work. The combination of Kalahari and NGG 13 Garrett gives the locomotives two distinctive beats. They start off unsynchronized until finally the orchestration becomes well conducted and the beat is one. The black beasts slip their wheels, angrily barking and throwing plumes of black smoke high into the sky. As long as one engine slips and the other does the work, there is a chance that they will reach the top. At Velima siding, the terminal of the journey, the locomotives have to turn around for the return trip. With the famous Sekunyala landmark in the background, the heat of the day is going and the light is fading. The double-header leaves Velima just as the sun has fallen beyond the horizon. Time to soak the magic hour of glittering steel and orange skies. And now the ultimate double header, 2 Garretts. That's 120 tons of thrashing steel, 8 cylinders and 40 wheels, 24 of them coupled. But will the mountain climbing railway of Sandstone Estates budge to this powerful train? The fearsome bank of Pandora Mountain is a hard test for even the best driver. Double headers require a coordinated effort between the drivers. With all the slipping, the steam pressure is falling. Just before submitting the Pandora bank, the steam pressure drops again. More coal needs to be shoveled into the firebox before the train can go.
And in the middle, 1 trace, then it's good.
The steam pressure slowly creeps back towards the red mark, and with a very hot fire, Philip opens the regulator slightly.